Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Aaron Smith, and I'm going to do a review of the new 2019 Trek FX3. And before I talk too much about it, I want to give you a little bit of background about myself so you'll know why I got what I got. But I'm 40 years old, I'm 6 foot 7 inches tall, and I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete all my life. In college, I did the decathlon, which is 10 track and field events back to back over a 2-day period, 5 the first day, 5 the second day. It's a test of sprinting, throwing, jumping, pole vaulting. Whoever is the best decathlete in the world is crowned the greatest athlete in the world. And so I ran for Texas A&M University, a Division I school. I was so good at it that the head football coach of Texas A&M University came to me, said, "I've got to have you play for my team." And I said, "I'm not interested." I graduated, went to school at the University of Texas, still had another year of eligibility, did the decathlon. The head coach of the University of Texas, Mac Brown, came to me, said, "I've got to have you on my team." I said, "I'm not interested." I consider the decathlon the pinnacle of athletic achievement, and that's what I did, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I graduated, I stayed active, but recently, well, about 7 years ago, pretty recently I guess, what happened is I lost my right leg above the knee in a horse riding accident. I was training a horse got out of control, started bucking, got my foot caught in the stirrup, he drugged me. Anyway, the bottom line is I ended up losing my leg above the knee. Okay, so that brings me to this bike. The reason I got it partially because I'm 6 foot 7 inches tall. I wanted one that was big, so it had this one came in a 25-inch frame, which was good for me. It's also called extra large, and so there it is. It says 25-inch frame, and because I'm missing my leg above the knee, I wanted something with a lot of gearing, and so I was looking at the FX1, FX2, but the FX3 had 27 gears. And so that helps me going up hills because I can't generate a whole lot of force without a knee joint. And so I need to put it down in a low gear so I can just spin going up hills. And that's what I do, and it works great. So today's August 31st, and I've had this bike a few months. Trek released it early, and that's great. And so I've had plenty of time to decide what I think about it. And so I've got my sticker on here, Challenge Athletes Foundation, a great organization to support. They help people with missing limbs, different disabilities, people who want to be active. But back to the bike, we've got 32 centimeter tires. And so this bike is considered a hybrid, but I would say it's 70% road bike and 30% city bike. And what makes it city bike is just, having flat bars, wider tires, but these tires are not that wide. They're just wide enough to keep you from going flying when you hit a pothole, but they're skinny enough to really go fast. And I've done a lot of rides on this bike already. I've gone 60 miles, I've done 70, 80 mile rides, all the way up to, I did a 116 mile ride on it. And on Saturday, today's October, wait a minute. No, today's August 31st. Today's August 31st. And so on August 25th, which was on Saturday, I rode this bike in the Hotter Than Hell 100 bicycle race in Wichita Falls. That is a 100-mile long bicycle race through the wind, through the heat. It was a 102-degree day. It got up to 101 degrees while I was riding. I took this bike 100.4 miles. That's how far I rode it. One of the things that helped me ride it that far was these IsoZone grips. So these are really soft, and they're not going to spin on you because we've got that bolt in there. They're stationary. And we've got this kind of paddle right here, and if you put the heel of your palm on it, It really feels comfortable if you adjust it up to the right level. If you spin it down too far and then tighten it, then your wrist is going to be like that while you're riding. You don't want that. You want it up like this. And if it's like that, you'll continue to get good circulation through your hand, and you can go 100+ miles like I did on Saturday. So the IsoZone grips are great. That's something you don't get on the FX2. Another thing you don't get on the FX2 that you do get on this bike is a carbon fork. That fork is made out of carbon fiber, and the frame is made out of aluminum. It's called alpha aluminum, or alpha gold aluminum, as opposed to alpha silver aluminum. That's what my mountain bike is made of. It's a heavier bike. This bike, the medium bike, the medium size of this bike weighs 25 pounds. This is an extra large, so I don't know exactly what it weighs, but it's light, and that fork makes it feel light because it's a lot lighter than an alloy fork that comes on the FX2. And so what happens is it's really responsive. Like when you're riding, it feels light. There's a little flexion in that fork. Carbon fiber, it's got a little flexibility to it, and so it's very responsive. It feels agile. It just feels faster, and I think it is faster than the FX2. It's got rim brakes. Now, there is an FX3 disc that has disc brakes. The reason I bought rim brakes, the one with rim brakes, is because it's cheaper. This bike costs $660. I was able to get it on sale for $599 plus tax. Okay, but it's listed for $660. The one with disc brakes is listed for $780. So that's $120 price difference in a bike that's exactly the same, and the only difference is it's got disc brakes. And so that's important to some people for rainy weather, but I've got my mountain bike with disc brakes that I ride in the rainy weather. So I'm happy with these. I'm very happy with these rim brakes. It makes the whole bike lighter too. It takes about 1.5 pounds off of the bike if you choose to have rim brakes versus the disc brakes. All right, so it came with this nebulous seat right here, and it seemed to be kind of hard at first, but what I figured out is that wearing bike shorts with a chamois pad in the butt and then using chamois butter makes it feel great. And so I rode the Hotter Than Hell 100-mile bike race on Saturday with this seat, and over half the people that I started the race with, even though I'm missing my leg above the knee, it's a testament to how fast this bike is. Over half the people I started the race with, I beat. I broke a course record for the fastest above knee amputee to ever ride this race, and it's a huge race. About 12,000 people show up to compete during that weekend. Not all in the 100-mile race. A lot of them are doing 20, 30, 50-mile races, but they all start together. So it was a massive, awesome race to see. All right, so more about the bike. So we've got that nebulous seat. Tires these are the tires that came with it. I didn't switch them out or anything. 32 millimeter. I bought this little pump, so if I get a flat on the road, I got this saddlebag. I put a tube in it, so if I get a flat tire, I can just take it out and replace it instead of fixing it. Put the old tube in there, maybe fix it when I get home, maybe not. They're only about $6 for a tube. So here are the gear shifters. These are really nice. These gear shifters, they're so smooth. I mean, when I'm riding, they're just smooth. My mountain bike, it's a little jerkier compared to, I mean, it works fine, but this, it's got 9 gears here and 3 here, 3 in the front. And when I go up or down, the chain just goes right there. It's a seamless transition, no problem. All right, so yeah, I got my water bottle cages. I use those for my electrolytes. I also have a Camelback that I use. It's not a Camelback, it's actually a cheaper version of a backpack with a water bladder and I mix it with electrolytes, and that's how I'm able to go. One of the reasons I'm able to go so far, but I use both of those water bottle cages, put water bottles in them. A lot of little adjustments I had to do to this bike. Like when I first got it, these handlebars were kind of tilted down, like rotated down. It made a big difference to rotate them up. Let me show you one other thing. One problem I had, I'm going to try to turn it upside down where y'all can watch. At one point, the gears started sticking. And so I went to the bike shop and I thought it was, I thought it was having problems. It really wasn't. All it was having was, this cable was sticking right here because it kind of got dirty from sweat and dirt. And so when I went to shift the gears, it was getting caught up right here. But all I did is clean it off, put a little grease in there, and now it works perfectly again. So that's what they did. They showed me how to do it. Now I do it and it works perfectly, no problems. I did change out the pedals. I didn't really like the pedals that came with the bike, so I put these on. And I used this strap to put my foot in the pedal. And I'm going to show you how I do that as an above-knee amputee. And I'm going to put my cell phone down right here. Hopefully y'all can see. Hopefully you're in my field of vision. Okay, so let me turn the bike back right side up. And I use this trekking pole to help me ride. But this review is for everyone. This is a bike designed for people with two legs. And so this review is for everybody who has two real legs. There aren't just a whole lot of people missing a leg who can ride a bike. Most people missing a leg ride a hand cycle, or a racing wheelchair, or a recumbent, or a trike. But because I've been able to figure this out, I love it, I go fast, and on this bike, actually, I go faster than I did when I had two real legs, because before I lost my leg, I had a mountain bike, and so that's all I had ever ridden. This bike is pretty much a road bike, and it's just faster. Okay, so I use this to balance, because I've got my foot in the pedal, and so I don't want to just fall over on my right side, so I use this to balance, and then when I'm ready to take off, I just go. And so y'all can't see me right now because the phone is just sitting there on the ground. But that's how I do it. That's how I ride with one leg. No big deal, really. People make a big deal about it. But once you adapt, it's no big deal, really. It's pretty easy. So my advice to y'all is wear a helmet. I have gotten in one crash on this bike. I was going around a corner, a blind corner with a building right there on the corner, and a highway patrol officer pulled out right in front of me on a Sunday. So I hit the brakes. These brakes were great, so great that I actually hit the brakes. They stopped me instantaneously, and I went flying over the handlebars, landed in front of the highway patrolman. His grill was right in my face when the wheels screeched to a halt, and he backed up, helped me. My shoulder hurt for about 6 weeks, but it's fine. I ended up being okay. But this thing is very fast, so be careful on it. It's awesome. Anyway, that's it. Concludes the video, the review. Let me know what you think. Thank you, Trek, for making an excellent bike. I love it. All right, I'm going to turn off the video as soon as I can get this cell phone picked up and the button pressed.